friends, good morning. So today in math we are going to be talking about the time in our day and some things that we do at different times during the day. So before we start and we talk about our daily schedule, things that we do at different times, we need to talk about how many hours we have in a day. So there are 24 hours in a day. That's a lot of hours, and it's broken up into two parts. So the two parts are called AM and PM. So if we look at our analog clock, and we've seen this before, there are only 12 hours on this clock. So that means that there is a 12 o'clock AM and a 12 o'clock PM, because if we were to add the 12 hours in AM plus the 12 hours in the PM part of the day, 12 plus 12 equals the 24 hours that are in our day. So AM comes from a phrase in Latin that means before noon or before midday. So noon is 12 o'clock in the middle of our day. Okay, so this would be around lunchtime. So any time that is before lunchtime is AM, it's before midday, and we call that the morning. Anytime after 12 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and make 12 o'clock noon. Anytime after 12 o'clock is after the midday, so that is going to be PM. It is post or after the midday, and that's what we would call the afternoon and the evening. So from 12 a.m. midnight, that's the middle of the night when hopefully all of us are sleeping, all the way until 11:59 a.m. Those are all AM hours. Those are our 12 hours before noon, and then everything from 12 o'clock p.m. noon all the way until 11:59 p.m. Those are our PM times. So that means that we have, there's a 1 o'clock in the morning, a 1 o'clock a.m. where hopefully all of us are sleeping, and a 1 o'clock in the afternoon where we might be reading a book or playing outside or playing a game or doing some math. So the way that you tell people if you're talking about 1 o'clock in the morning or 1 o'clock in the afternoon is you would use AM for morning or PM for afternoon and evening, okay? So are you ready to talk about the things that we do at different times during the day? Okay, so I know that our schedules all look a little different right now because all of us are doing different things since we're spending time at home. So what we're going to do for this chart is we're going to pretend like we're having a normal school day, okay? So go ahead and think back to the last time that we were in school, okay? So does anyone know what time your grown-up wakes you up in the morning? Well, I know that I wake up at 6 o'clock. That's what time my alarm clock goes off. So up here at the very top, that is the very beginning of my day because I'm sleeping during the really early AM hours. But my day that I'm awake starts at 6 o'clock a.m. It's in the morning. So I'm using the digital time for 6 o'clock. I have a 6 to show the hour, and then the colon, and then 00 because no minutes have gone by in that hour yet. So at 6 o'clock a.m., that is when I wake up. So I wake up and I get ready to go to school. I might eat breakfast, take a shower, brush my teeth, get my school clothes ready. So that's what I'm doing at 6 o'clock a.m. What are we all doing at 8 o'clock a.m.? What happens at 8 o'clock in the morning on a school day? We get to school. So I'm going to say get to school. I might get to school in my car or on a bus. I I might go get breakfast from the cafeteria if I haven't had breakfast yet. I will go and give Miss Kay a huge hug since it's been so long since we've seen each other, and then get started on my morning work. So at 8 o'clock in the morning, I get to school, okay? So time is going by, and what are we doing at 10 o'clock in the morning, or at 10 a.m.? So announcements have already happened. Spelling has already happened. Some of our reading has already happened. So this would be something that happens before lunch. We do our centers. So at 10 o'clock a.m. I work on center work, or you might be with your reading group at my table. Work on center work. That's what we're doing at 10 o'clock in the morning. What are we doing at 12 o'clock noon? What happens at noon? We eat lunch. So the middle of our day, or at 12 o'clock noon, we are eating lunch. So I'm going to go ahead and use our clock, and I'm going to show you all of these times on the clock so that we can practice. So all of these are o'clock times. That means that no minutes have gone by. So can you tell me where the minute hand is going to be on all of these times? So remember, the minute hand is the long blue one that tells us how many minutes have gone by. They're going to be straight up to the 12. Okay, so let me show you 6 o'clock. Where is the hour hand going to need to be at 6 o'clock? On the 6, and then the minute hand is straight up in the air. So this is what 6 o'clock looks like. Now remember, the minute hand doesn't follow these big red numbers. These big red numbers help to show us the hour. The blue minute hand follows all of these little dots right here. And so when it's straight up in the air, that means 0 minutes have gone by in that hour. Okay? Now it's time to go to school at 8 o'clock. At 10 o'clock in the morning, we're doing our centers. And at 12 o'clock, it's time to eat lunch. So at 12 o'clock, the hour hand and the minute hand are both pointing up at the 12. So you might not be able to see both of them. So you just know that they're both pointing straight up. Okay, and after we eat lunch at 1 o'clock, what are we doing in class at 1 o'clock? We're in math class. So let's see, what could I put for math? Could we be working on our math boards? Doing work on our math boards. Okay, even more time has gone by. After 1 o'clock, we have 3 o'clock. This is the time that you guys are always asking me in the afternoons if it's almost time for. At 3 o'clock, we get out of school. So I can say we go home. You might be going home on the bus, or you might be going home in carpool, but at 3 o'clock p.m. or 3 in the afternoon, you are going home. So there's 1 o'clock for doing work on our math boards. And then when the clock reads 3 o'clock, it is time to go home from school. So the hour hand is on the 3, and the minute hand is straight up in the air at the 12. Okay, so 6 o'clock. There are lots of things you could be doing at 6 o'clock because that depends on your family. Because different families do different things in the afternoons. You might be working on your homework. You might be playing outside. Or something that my family does at 6 o'clock is that's what time we usually eat dinner. So at 6 o'clock, I am eating dinner. But you may be doing something different with your family at 6 o'clock, and that's okay too. You might have dinner at a different time. Ask your adult what time you usually have dinner at your house. Mr. K, when he was young, he had dinner at around 8 o'clock at night. And so different families do different things, and that's okay. And then at 8 o'clock p.m., that's when a lot of us might be getting ready to go to bed. So at 8 o'clock p.m., it is time to go to sleep. So at 8 o'clock a.m., we're getting to school. And at 8 o'clock p.m., it is time to go to sleep. So that's why talking about a.m. and p.m. are important, because 8 o'clock looks the same on the analog clock. This could be 8 o'clock a.m. or morning, or 8 o'clock p.m. or 8 o'clock at night. So that's why a.m. before noon and p.m. afternoon are important, because it helps us know, because the 24 hours that are in our day are broken up into two chunks, broken up into a.m. and p.m. So what I have for you on Seesaw today is you are going to choose 3 activities that you do during the day. You're going to choose a morning activity. You're going to choose something that you do in the afternoon. Then you're going to choose something that you do in the evening or at night. These can be any of the things that you're doing at home, or if you want to think about things that you do during the school day, that's fine too. So you're going to draw pictures of those 3 things, and then you're going to tell me what time you do those things, okay? And you can use the digital time to show me what time you do those things. For now, I want you to try to choose o'clock times, because those are the only kinds of times that we've talked about so far. And soon we're going to start talking about what happens when the hour is halfway over, when it's 8:30. So we'll start talking about that later this week. I can't wait to see what kinds of things you've been doing with the time in your day. Have a great day, friends.